I didn't read hardly anything. In my previous video, we did a November TBR. My TBR jar is my cute little cat here. We went through this little jar here and we picked out November's reads. I will just run through those books with you just in case you're interested, and of course you can watch the full video. I'll link it down in the description box. So these are the books that we ended up choosing, and like I've just said, I didn't read a single one of them. Right, if you hear slurping in the background, my little chihuahua is a bit thirsty, so he's just having a very long drink. I just wasn't feeling it. I have been reading, don't get me wrong, and we'll talk about the book that has got my attention at the moment. But as for my TBR that was chosen in the previous video, we didn't get there. So those books were Empire of Flame and Thorns by Marion Blackwood, A College, Fey Rebel, A Ruthless Dragon Commander, and Deadly Trials. Sounds good. Cat Dragon. I wanted to get this back on my TBR, feel warm and soft in a blanket and not have too many books that were high stakes all in the same time. So that's the reason I put this one back on. If you want to know my thoughts about this one, there is a previous video all about my reading experience starting this, why I DNF'd it in the beginning of November. But I did also cheat and bring it back on, but still haven't got any further with it. The Power of Hades by Eliza Reign. This one just looked like a really good, fun, intense time. Very raunchy. Hades of the underworld, a modern Persephone, and just, it sounds like a rip-roaring time between the sheets. And I just thought that I might be able to get this one under my belt, and I didn't. Literally had no interest in any of these books. Of Blades and Wings, also by Eliza Reign, and this one was a similar trials, fighting for her life, and then coming across some lethal warrior that was also in the trials. So she not only has to fight for her life, but she also has to fight for the fact that if she gets distracted by this guy, he's also going to want to kill her as well. And then Arcana Academy, which has been on my TBR twice now. Tarot cards, the main character has to learn how to make tarot cards, or it's a forbidden magic and she gets in trouble for doing so. Again, Elise Kova, I've heard really good things, but it hasn't been one of those ones that I've wanted to pick up. It's something that's always been like meh at some point. I'm hoping that my attitude towards these ones will change, but for now, that is my quick wrap up and my sorry explanation for why I didn't read much. And that's the point of this channel. I want to explain and show you the realities. Just because I've got a really good lineup of books doesn't mean that I actually managed to read any of them. For any of you that have read any of these, I'd love to know your thoughts. Have you also been in a reading slump? Yeah, we will get back to these at some point, but not just yet. So that's my quick wrap up. Now, the reason why I haven't read any of those is because of this one, Brimstone. The second book has just come out. I have got it here, Brimstone. I like the artwork with Callum at the front, the snow fox at the back. So far, the Snow Fox is my favourite character. Someone must have been wearing some beautiful perfume when they packed this for me, because this book smells incredible. And I don't think it's intentional, but it does. It just smells exquisite. So I actually quite like the fact that book 2 smells divine. I'll try not to say any spoilers in this video. The main character starts off in one area. It's not long before she goes to another area. But I found that change quite abrupt, quite sudden, and there was no explanation as to why. She seemed very quick to be able to get over the fact that she'd travelled. Currently, I am just about halfway. There we go, I'm at chapter 20. It's getting better. You know, we're getting more into the characters. Our main character, Ceres, she is showing us more of her inner thoughts and the way that she thinks about other characters, and she's quite badass at the moment, and I like that. However, she does seem to still have this connection and attraction to Quicksilver, which is just instant. I'm not enjoying the fact that you're just instantly supposed to enjoy the interaction between her and Quicksilver. I know that there's a reason for it, and the chapter makes sense once you read it, and afterwards you're like, oh, okay, right, well, that makes sense. But when you're reading the interaction, the first flirting interaction between her and Quicksilver, It's too early on in the book. It doesn't make sense. She's trying to write this angst and this tension, and there's just not enough time spent between these characters for it actually to feel real, for it to feel like it's plausible. I liked all the other characters. One character has just disappeared completely, to do with Ceres moving. There's certain things that just feel quite disjointed. It's like, oh, 1 minute she's here, oh, and then she's there, with no information as to how the characters that you're following feel about the displacement of moving away from where they were. And this other character that's now just been dropped, that there's no reference back to them, there's no one-liner as to say how they're getting on, there's no communication. So it feels like she's a chess piece, Ceres, and the author is a little bit like, oh, we're going to do this, oh no, we're going to do that, and then we're going to do that. And at the moment, it's feeling a little bit disjointed. However, something more action has just happened to Ceres, the main character, and it's starting to draw me in and make me feel a little bit more invested in their interaction. Quicksilver's just done a little bit of sword fighting and rescued her. That's more believable, that's more enjoyable, and the interaction between her and other characters is starting to be more fleshed out. So by chapter 20, I'm actually enjoying it, and I've got my little coloured tabs that I keep tabbing different things that I'm enjoying. I also love the silver sprayed edges, and I do like the artwork at the beginning and the end. Although I'm not a fan of Quicksilver, I think he looks really, unattractive and moody. Not the Quicksilver that I would imagine. Let me know what your thoughts are, but I'm kind of imagining Damon Salvatore from The Vampire Diaries. He's just hunky beyond words. So I'm kind of imagining him when I'm reading this book. Ceres, I'm not so sure. She's good, she's sassy, she's got an attitude, but I'm not sure whether or not her logic and her internal dialogue is making a lot of sense sometimes for the decisions that she's making. I do love the little snow dog though on it. We will see how we get on with this. I am enjoying it. The writing style really flows. Plot line is a little bit kind of like, oh, we're here, then we're there, and then there's this. And you're just expected to kind of keep on reading and fill in the blanks, and then there's a little bit of information that kind of ties back to where you've just been. Not the most fluent of stories. Spark of the Everflame, this one flowed beautifully. Started in a logical manner and slowly progressed through the story. I'm kind of disappointed that it's not a little bit more of a raunchier version of Spark of the Everflame, but I'm willing to see where Quicksilver takes me. It's a gloomy, wintry Friday afternoon, and I'm actually sitting down here with you. I have got my hot cup of cocoa, no milk or anything, just one of these like cocoa mushroom blends, which is super delicious. And I do have a few books that I've bought for the winter season, but you will have to wait for the next video to watch those. If you have any thoughts about Quicksilver, or the way in which you have reading slumps or don't accomplish much in terms of reading, I'd really love to know your thoughts. It's not always about how many books we get ticked off our list. I like to think it's a time to slow down, to really listen to our hearts. And if we don't get things accomplished like we thought we would, it's okay. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, enjoy spending time with the books that you are enjoying. And it also frees up room to really enjoy the storyline and remember what you're reading. Because a lot of times, if you're too quick and not in the moment fully, you can read a book and not really remember what was going on. I hope that gives you permission to slow down your own reading journey this month. And until next time, don't forget that this is the channel for the dreamers and the witches and the wanderers, and that these are our enchanted pages. Until next time, spooky soul, look after yourself. Bye.